You are the first Comic-Con where it feels like, do you know what? We're doing well here.
Yeah, most comics come on and go, bloody hell, guys, you've bought your own couch.
Yeah.
And you're questioning life decisions that got you here.
Yeah. I mean, no, listen, I was up in Manchester for that. It's a pleasure to be here. It's very nice to see you. So what's going on? What do we normally do on this podcast? I mean, obviously, I've not listened to it. I think that much is very clear. Talk me through it. What's the premise of this podcast?
So the MO of this podcast from day one was, let's try and be the funniest podcast. So if I can make Dan Nightingale laugh and he can make me laugh, two comics, miserable comics,
right,
and people at home be pissing themselves laughing.
Right, that's the premise, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you know how you do. The MO sounds great in your accent as well. A little bit of Latin there. A little bit of Latin. The modus operandi. The modus operandi of this podcast.
I'm not Welsh.
That's how
well.
you sound to me.
It started well.
Yeah, it started well and then tailed off horribly.
It's hard to compete with Scouse accents on this podcast because most of us have got one, and then he's got the best Scouse accent in the non-Scouse game.
It's taken me ages to get that.
I can only do it on certain phrases. I can do on some chicken and a can of I can do that. I can
Not
do
bad.
The dick bit was good.
It seems that's the difference between Manchester and Liverpool. Essentially, that in Manchester it's knob, knobhead, and then dickhead. It's you go dick, they go knob.
What you got?
Huh?
What's yours?
Vagina. If I had to describe my vagina, I'd say it's an outie. It's different down south. We're very polite to each other. No, sorry. So where are we? Runcorn. It sounds made up.
It does.
It sounds like something from the Ruttles.
It's Liverpool's arsehole.
Yeah. If Britain needed an enema, this is where it goes in.
Yeah.
Is it kind of woolly back country? I used to play.
Yeah. That's exactly where you are.
There used to be a venue around here years ago that I used to play. I remember
Brindley.
What, sorry?
Was it the Brindley Theatre?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of the name of the town even, but it was real. They were woolly backs. I remember that. I had no idea what the derivation was, but if you said woolly back on stage, they were very happy.
Everyone from Runcorn tells people who aren't from Liverpool that they're from Liverpool. So if you're from Runcorn and you go on holiday, I'm a Scouser. Until they meet a Scouser.
I suppose it's that thing though where it's just like it's not enough. Like if I go to America and someone goes, "You're where are you from?" London. It's like anyone from Edinburgh to Cardiff goes, "Yeah, near enough." I guess. I guess you go. Well done.
Where are you actually from?
I'm from sort of Slough, Irish immigrant parents from, and then I was kind of born in West London, but I would have been like a plastic paddy. But I don't really read like that, so I think people kind of assume I'm a public school boy because I'm quite well spoken. But I mean, compared to you lads, who fucking isn't? But I read as like a public school boy, but I went to the local school in Slough.
You went to the local private school.
The local private school. Well, no, the local private school would have been Eton. I went to Burnham Grammar, which is on the big estate in Slough. So what happened with Slough, passingly interesting, is they cleared the slums of London. When they cleared the slums, they didn't just kill those poor people, they moved them to Slough. They should have killed them,
I think Runcorn is basically a northern Slough then. It's a similar vibe.
What? Because did they clear the slums?
I think that's there was a massive migration from Liverpool to Runcorn.
Yeah, and it was like you're all going to have a house and a garden,
but we don't have Eton just round here. There's no. Yeah. There isn't the equivalent. Because near Slough, there's Eton round here.
There is, Eton Rifles, the great Jam song about the fight down there. It's cheek by jowl with that sort of stuff. There's lots of posh stuff around there, but it's reasonably rough. But I suppose it was never that rough. I grew up sort of there in the 80s, and even though it was kind of a rough time for Britain, I think it was kind of full employment there because it's got a massive industrial estate. So everyone I knew, all their dads worked on the industrial estate. So I grew up sort of in the shadow of the Mars factory. Yeah, quite a nice way to grow up.
I've been to Slough. It all feels like an estate.
Everything smells like chocolate because it's like you're kind of being gassed by Mars. It's all right.
See, right next to this is a massive power plant.
Yeah.
So whatever you can smell around here is toxic shite,
killing you.
Right.
I know there is a really worrying siren that goes off occasionally. Which we don't
even know what it is.
Found out. It's like all the locals go, get inside. Jesus Christ, the siren. So we just breathe that in.
Yeah.
Welcome. Thanks for coming.
I'm not sure I should be here. But I guess we're doing this.
Yeah, so he's going to be looking for a new agent on Monday morning.
Well, listen, this is I viewed this as charitable. So what else goes on the podcast? What else are we talking about?
We talk about our lives, our girlfriends, our wives, our childhood.
You've got a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Wow.
She's lovely as well.
Really?
Yeah.
And what is it? Is it low self-esteem on her part? Or?
Other men have treated her like shit, and now she's made a visual compromise.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I could see that. Okay. That's
how it works for nearly every comedian, though, eh?
She's looked at me like she's buying a house at auction. She's going to do me up, and then in a few years, I'll be a bargain.
Right. And then you'll move on.
Yeah.
And you'll move on to someone else.
Oh, no, I used to hit glass ceiling.
What does she do?
She is the admin for a building.
No, I meant sexually. Where does she draw the line?
Oh,
no,
vagina.
Sorry, I meant what she do.
Vagina.
The admin for
a building firm.
I don't know how. I'm so out of touch with regular jobs now. When I chat to people in the audience, I just sort of I'm full of awe that anyone could turn up and do that.
Yeah, so me and Carl were talking about this recently. Like, as soon as you start getting paid as a comic and you do the odd TV thing or a big show, or even if you're just a club circuit comic, when you hear what your mates from school are on like hourly wages, it just, you can't get your head wrapped. Like, I could never, ever, ever. I think I'd have to kill myself if comedy stopped existing.
It's a weird one with, I don't know whether I can relate fully, but like when you become a success in comedy, I think it's much earlier than people think. I think people think you're a success when you're on telly or something, or when you're playing arenas or whatever their perception is of like, oh, that's showbiz success. But actually, as a comic, from my point of view, it's like, I remember playing the Comedy Store on a Saturday and doing the early and the late show and doing the Banana Cabaret in between and getting paid in cash. And I went, I've absolutely made in the shade. I'm literally living off my wits. It's enough for me.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I remember getting a hotel paid for me. And I was like, hey, that felt like making it. Just getting a paid gig and also having them, of course, we're going to put you up.
I hadn't assumed you'd made it yet. I was just telling you what it's like.
Your version of making it, that I've got there. There's degrees.
No, it is interesting, that thing of like, it's quite early on because you sort of go, well, I'm sort of doing what I want to do anyway. So anything in the way of financial gain sort of comes into it. And then you go, it's that Faustian pact that lots of our friends have made of like going, we get to live to work, and they work to live. It strikes me that there's quite a lot of jobs that are quite analogous with comedy, where you go, actually, if they didn't pay you, you would do this anyway. Like people that get to be footballers, obviously, it's something where they live to work. But I think that's the reason I wrote a book recently, and kind of half of it's about that, about like, how do you find that thing that's your thing? It doesn't have to be comedy, it doesn't have to be show business or sports, but everyone's got something that kind of makes their heart sing, and you want work to be more fun than fun.
Yeah. I remember I used to work in a bar in Liverpool, and a couple of years after I left, and I'd been doing stand-up full-time for maybe like a year, 18 months, and they asked me to go back and sort of run a show there. And a lot of the lads who I worked with at the time still worked on the bar, and they were at the show and watched it, whatever. And then I got paid in cash afterwards. I think I got like 250 quid. I mean, mate was like, just so I know, how much do you get for tonight? And I was like, 250 quid. And he was like, you used to have to work on that bar for 30 hours to get what you've just got for having fun.
Yeah, and then the other layer of that is, like Jimmy said, you would have done the gig for free because comedy is a load of fun, and it's basically what we enjoy doing. If you can then get paid and get put up, it's a bonus, isn't it?